Hi, I'm Kelly and welcome to this video. And I'm really here to kind of shake things up a bit. And I want you to really start thinking about yourself and your body in your life in a way that maybe you haven't thought about before. Because you are unique and you are a beautiful woman who gets to choose what is right for you. And as a love body mentor, I really do feel it's so important for women to connect to themselves on a much deeper level as they listen to the woman within, learn who they truly are, and love every single part of themselves again. Do you feel inspired to love all of you again? If so, then I'd love you to subscribe to the Love Body channel and you can just discover so much more love and joy for your life. And for most of us who have struggled with ourselves and our bodies for most of our life, what you probably believe wholeheartedly as being the number one issue about your body is your weight. But your weight is only a symptom of what's going on inside you, a symptom of what's going on inside your mind and your body, as diet after diet gave you hope and made you promises that you totally fell for, and it gave you guarantees that your dream body was within reach, but only after you consume your weight in cabbage for the next 7 weeks. Like, that's just so gross. And what happens? What happens at the end of these diets? You were left feeling like a failure, and you might have gone straight back to the fridge. Then you just started that whole process over and over and over again, and diet after diet, continuing to make you empty promises. And now you are stuck on this out of control roller coaster with no idea how to get off. You feel sick. You are so exhausted from going around and around and around on this roller coaster. And you've just had enough. The years have worn you down and you just can't take it anymore. So who wants off? Don't you just want to wake up in the morning and enjoy who you are? Enjoy what the day may bring and stop thinking such horrible thoughts about your body and just love every single part of yourself again. Okay, so now I've kind of got you all excited about that. I'm just going to give you one little painful truth here. The whole process is not always an easy one. It can be ridiculously messy once you get really stuck into it. But I promise you that it is so worth it. There's this great quote from a book that I read a little while ago now, called The 5 a.m. Club. And it's really a great book. Definitely check it out. But it says, all change is hard at first, it's messy in the middle, and then gorgeous at the end. And that really does sum up all change that we go through. And without pain, there is no growth. But we're all here to grow and to learn. Pain doesn't always have to go with growth, but after that pain, there will be some kind of growth. And I can tell you that I had a very messy middle. And I believed wholeheartedly that I was really nothing more than the weight on my body. And I lived as though I was really nothing else. That everyone around me only saw my big, fat, ugly body, which really just led me to eating more and feeling even more depressed and just going around and around in circles and just going up and down on this roller coaster until I just kind of felt so out of control. And I didn't know how to stop eating, and I didn't know how to really love who I was. Well, not until I got skinny anyway. That was really, really the only way I was ever going to love myself. All that I had to do was just stop eating, work out consistently, work out constantly, do lots of cardio and become a runner and just burn a gazillion calories, and just if I could just look like all the supermodels of the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s and just all of them really, then I'd be okay. Deep down I knew that this wasn't the way to go, but I certainly tried many diets and many things, and just exercised and stopped eating and not, and it gave me a bit of success for a little while, but it just wasn't sustainable. And of course it was all my fault, because I was just fat and stupid, and I had absolutely no willpower. I had absolutely no willpower to keep food out of my mouth for more than an hour, and I didn't want to drag my huge fat body to the gym in case people were looking at me and laughing at me and just completely judging me for being a big fat pig who couldn't control herself enough to get skinny and beautiful. And that's kind of what the mindset of people, like men and women, were like when I was younger, when I was a teenager and, into my early 20s. And that mindset has kind of shifted over the decades, but it's still really there. That in order to love yourself, you have to be skinny and you have to look perfect. But it doesn't matter what your body looks like or your hair color looks like or what clothes you wear, any of that stuff. And I spent so much of my waking life, every moment, thinking about my weight, letting myself hate myself because of what my body looked like, and just wishing and hoping and praying that it would magically disappear, that I wouldn't have to do anything and I'd just wake up one morning and I'd just be skinny. And I just believed that everything about me was wrong. And I remember one summer back when I think I was 16, I came up to visit my auntie and uncle on the Gold Coast. It's a beach town and it's really not somewhere a fat girl wants to be. But I came anyway. We went to the beach one day and I was feeling my usual insecure self. And a woman just up on the beach, she walked past, and she was large, probably a little bit larger than I was at the time. And my auntie and cousin, my girl cousin, they both just ostracized her and made fun of her and just teased her for how she looked. And that made me feel awful, that these people who was very Christian, who were supposed to be loving Christians, could speak about someone that way, about her body. And it seemed so cruel to me. It just made me wonder what they were thinking of me. Their own family, their own flesh and blood. And I had that a lot in my life. If I was walking down the street, just minding my own business, I'd get people yelling stuff out of the car at me, telling me how fat I was, like I didn't fucking know. Like you had to remind me that that's what I was. You know, when you endure stuff like that, it just makes you even more depressed, and it makes you hate yourself even more. And you just kind of on and off for years dealing with that, feeling like that. And every comment and disgusted look, and every time I was ignored, all of that settled down inside me like a concrete balloon, and it just heavily floated around inside my body, preventing me from living my most beautiful life. And it really just made me believe even more that I was nothing more than my weight, that I would never be anything more than what my body looked like. Which is why I want for you now today to begin to think differently about your weight. And I actually done another video called Behind the Body. I'm going to link it into this one. I'd love you to watch that as well. It really marries nicely with this one and just helps you to think a bit more about how you are so much more than your body. And that, yes, we all have weight, but it is not what you are. And your weight is not what your body needs you to focus on. And the number on the scale, oh my God, that dreaded number on the scale which tells you how much you weigh, well, it's just a fucking number. It's just a number. But that number, oh my God, doesn't it cause so much depression and so much sadness and so much anger and so much frustration and so much hatred about ourselves, because that number is not what it's supposed to be. And you know, it leads us into a place that is scary, and it can be quite dark. And that's somewhere us women, we don't need to be, because it is just a fucking number. Like if it's 100 grams different, we put so much of ourselves into that number, and it just ruins our life. We can't go on, and we have to stop eating and exercising more. And it's absolute craziness. I don't understand why we do that to ourselves. It's like all our worth has been put into this number. So if that's you, I've got one thing for you to do right now, and that's go into your bathroom, pause this video, go into your bathroom, take your scale and throw it in the bin, because you do not need that stress, that anxiety, that bullshit that comes with that fucking scale, because it does not tell you the number that you think that you're supposed to be, because all of your worth goes into that number. You are so much more than that number. You are so much more than how much you weigh. Nobody gets to tell you that because you are not a particular number that you are not worthy. Not a doctor, not a boyfriend, not a partner, not a girlfriend, not a mother, no one. Absolutely no one. You get to tell yourself right now that you are so much more than what that number says. So, go, pause this video, take yourself to the bathroom or wherever you keep your scale and throw that fucking thing in the bin, and just free yourself from the stress and anxiety that it causes you every time that you step on it. Because who you are, when you step on that scale, is not who you truly are as a woman. And your life and your body, they belong to you. And you have a beautiful soul inside of you. And she wants so much more for you than that. She wants so much more than dieting and exercising and just thinking about your weight all the time. And I see way too many women stopping themselves from living because of what their bodies look like and how much they weigh. And I know I did. I held myself back so much. And this particular memory comes back to me when I think I was about 18, and I never really had a boyfriend before. But of course, it's that thing that you just have to do. You must have a boyfriend, or again, you're just completely worthless as a woman. But my friend set me up on a blind date with a guy who was like a couple of years older than me, I think he was. And he picked me up and we went for a drive into the city. And he was so lovely, so lovely. But me, being me, hating me, I could not enjoy myself. I could not enjoy myself at all because all I kept thinking about was my weight and how fat I was and how worthless I was. And really, by the time I was 18, I had become quite quiet as well. Like I just really felt like I had nothing to say, that whatever I said was not worthwhile. So I had lots going on in my mind, but I could never actually just kind of bring myself to have just a conversation with someone. So this date was very one-sided. God, even as I'm remembering it now, maybe it was different than what I believed it to be. Sometimes things are, but I really didn't have much to say because I didn't feel like I was worthwhile. And, we had dinner, and then there was like this little carnival in the middle of the city, and there was a roller coaster, and he wanted to go on it, and I just couldn't bring myself to go on it because, again, my weight did not allow me to enjoy myself. My weight stopped me from going on that roller coaster in case I didn't fit, or just even just allowing myself to actually have fun. And I felt so bad about it. I felt so bad that I behaved that way, but I didn't know how to behave any other way because it was my weight. Again, the hate for my weight, it was just so consuming. And I just didn't allow myself to really enjoy who I was and the life that I had because of my hate of my weight and myself and all of it. But even in saying that, like there's really this part of me that kind of, and I call her my loving voice. I know that she is in there now. And I was guided by her many a time. And I did things that I never really thought I could do, but yet somehow I was led into it. I moved to America when I was 21, I think it was. And something I had always dreamt of, moving to America. Then I moved to England, and then I went back to America years later, and like I've done all of these amazing things, but yet even in these amazing things, I didn't allow myself to really fully enjoy them and appreciate them because I couldn't appreciate myself. I couldn't love myself. I couldn't love my body. My weight, again, was just this heavy weight on me. And I don't want to have regrets, but I do regret being in all of those moments that I've had in my life and just not getting the joy out of them because I believed I was just too fat and too worthless and hopeless and all of these things to really just be involved in my life. My weight held me back all the time. Even in those moments where life gave me something great, just the weight and the hate, it just stopped me from really living and enjoying such a great life. I want you to have a little think now back on your life and where your weight has possibly held you back. And maybe where you didn't even really consider it. You just kind of did it anyway. See, deep inside, you really are a whole set of beliefs, and they become your reality. And if you believe that you are fat and that you must constantly be losing weight all the time, then you're not going to enjoy any part of your life, because it's always going to be on your mind. You go to a party and there's food and you're like, oh God, I can't eat that because I'm on a diet. And maybe even those moments when you do allow yourself a little bit of joy, it might still feel just that little bit too hard, and you'll constantly be thinking about your weight. It's always there in the back of your mind. And, you know, you might just be worrying and constantly thinking about what other people are thinking about you. So I want you to think differently right now about your weight. I want you to release that hold that your weight has on you and your life. Because from this moment on, you get to decide what you want to enjoy. So instead of your weight being the main focus, what should you focus on? Your life is a good start. But what do you want to be? What do you want to do with your life? What do you want to have in your life? What have you always wanted to do, but you've constantly stopped yourself from doing it because of your weight? How do you want to feel? Do you really want to keep feeling like shit and not liking yourself because of your weight? See, there has to come a point when you just can't keep going as you are anymore. I can honestly tell you that releasing the hold that my weight has had on me has been really, honestly, one of the best things I've ever done. I not only feel more empowered in my decisions now, I also feel, like really feel, such a love for myself that hasn't been there since I was very little. And I really understand the importance of living my life without this burden of my weight, because there is always more of a burden on your life than there is on your body when you allow your weight to hold you back from living your most beautiful life, the life you are meant to live. So just don't waste another minute allowing your weight to burden your life. Go into the bathroom if you haven't done it already. Go and throw away that scale and choose to love your body as it is right now. And just really welcome in a life of joy and love and adventure. Because there is a whole world waiting out there for you to enjoy it. So just go, after you throw out your scale, go out and find something that you enjoy. Don't let your weight hold you back anymore. All right, thank you so much for watching. This is really quite an honor for me, being able to speak to you like this, because I spent so much of my life being quiet, as I mentioned before, not speaking up, and just staying so small that I forgot that I do have a voice worth listening to. Now, you may not always agree with what I have to say. That's okay, because this is a conversation between us. You know, I have lots to say, but I have lots to say, but I also want to hear what you have to say. So I'd love you to leave me a comment about this video. Let me know what you think. Even email me your thoughts. Just get in touch and let me know what conversations you'd like to have. And if you love this video, please share it. And who do you know who would also love to watch this video? But before you go, I want to invite you to find out more about the Positively You program. And inside this program, there are more lessons about you, your body, and your life, and really figuring out what it is that you want and what you need so that you can really focus on bringing more love and more joy into your whole being. As you listen to the woman within, learn who you truly are and love, 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 love every single part of yourself again. All right, beautiful. Thank you for watching, and love and joy to you.